हरे Hare Krishna. So we'll start with Jai Radha Madhav. जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातिरावनचारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातिरावनचारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातिरावनचारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातिरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातिरावनचारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातिरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे राम 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Shila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. जय शिल प्रभुपाद की जय समवेत भक्तवृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल all those somebody devotees Hare Krishna all those to somebody devotees Hare Krishna all those to somebody devotees all those to Shri Guru and Gauranga Shila Prabhupada ki jai Hare Krishna devotees welcome to Srimad Bhagavatam class. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3rd chapter 31st verse number 15. यन्मायायोर्गुण यन्मायायोर्गुणकर्मनिबन्धस्मिन् संसारिके पतिचरंस्तदभिश्रमेण नष्टा स्मृतिः पुनरव्ययं प्रवर्णिता लोकम् युक्ताया कया महदनुग्रहम् अन्तरेण यन्मायायोर्गुणकर्मनिबन्धनेऽस्मिन् संसारिके पतिचरमस्तदभिश्रमेण नष्टा स्मृते पुनः अयं प्रणीतलोकं युक्तकयामात् अनुग्रहम् अन्तरेण. We'll see word to word translation. Yet of the Lord, Maya, by the Maya, Uru Guna, arising from the great modes, Karma, activities, Nibandhane, with bonds, Asmin, this, Samsarike, of repeated birth and death, Pati, of the path, Charan, wandering, Tat, of him, Abhishramena, with great pain, Nashta, lost, Smriti, memory, Punar, again, Ayam, this living entity, Pravarnita, may realize, Lokam, his true nature, Yuktakaya, by what means, Mahat, Anugraham, the mercy of the Lord, Antarena, without. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The human soul further prays. The living entity is put under the influence of material nature and continues a hard struggle for existence on the path of repeated birth and death. This conditional life is due to his forgetfulness of his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, without the mercy, how can he again engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord? Purport. The Mayavadi philosopher says that simply by cultivation of knowledge, by mental speculation, one can be liberated from the condition of material bondage. But here it is said, one is liberated not by knowledge, but by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. The knowledge, the condition so gains by mental speculation, however powerful it may be, is always too imperfect to approach the absolute truth. It is said that without the mercy of the Supreme, personality of Godhead, one cannot understand him or his actual form, quality, and name. Those who are not in devotional service go on speculating for many, many thousands of years, but they are still unable to understand the nature of the absolute truth. One can be liberated in the knowledge of the absolute truth simply by the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is clearly said herein that our memory is lost because we are now covered by His material energy. Arguments may be put forward as to why we have been put under the influence of this material energy by the supreme will of the Lord. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord says, I am sitting in everyone's heart, and due to me, one is forgetful, or one is alive in knowledge. The forgetfulness of the conditioned soul is also due to the direction of the Supreme Lord. A living entity misuses his little independence when he wants to lord it over material nature. The misuse of independence, which is called Maya, is always available. Otherwise, there would be no independence. Independence implies that one can use it properly or improperly. It is not static, it is dynamic. Therefore, misuse of independence is the cause of being influenced by Maya. Maya is so strong that the Lord says that it is very difficult to surmount her influence, but one can do so very easily if he surrenders unto me. Mam eva e prapadyante. Anyone who surrenders unto him can overcome the influence of the stringent laws of material nature. It is clearly said here that a living entity is put under the influence of Maya by his will. And if anyone wants to get out of this entanglement, this can be made possible simply by his mercy. The activities of the conditioned soul under the influence of material nature are explained here. Every conditioned soul is engaged in different types of work under the influence of material nature. We can see in the material world that the conditioned soul acts so powerfully that he is playing wonderfully in creating the so-called advancements of material civilization for sense gratification. But actually, his position is to know that he is an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. When he is actually in perfect knowledge, he knows that the Lord is the supreme worshipful object and that the living entity is his eternal servant. Without his knowledge, he engages in material activities. That is called ignorance. So we'll recite first Mangalacharan prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कलामयं तदाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना ललिता सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasani Gauramaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukum karoti vachalam, pangum langayate girim, yad kripatamaham vande, Shri Guru Nivadaninam, Paramanandam Madhavam, Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I seek blessings of all the devotees present here and in also Zoom, and by their blessings, I can glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. So today, in today's verse, Kapila Muni is saying to Mother Devahuti how living entity is praying, how living entity is put into the influence of material nature, and that living entity in the womb of the mother struggles very hard for the existence, and because that living entity is conditioned, it is on the path of repeated birth and death. And because of this condition, this living entity is made to forget his relationship with the supreme personality of Godhead. And because of this forgetfulness, that living entity is in ignorance. And without the mercy of Lord, he cannot be engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So that what is the main catch of this purpose? The mercy. Nobody can engage in the transcendental loving service of God. Hmm. So how to get this mercy? We have heard from so many senior devotees
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, we cannot hear you.
of the devotees will able to get the mercy of Lord. So this is very important. And he Hare Krishna devotees. Sorry, there is some problem in internet. So that's why I have to use my phone, and the camera on my phone is not good. So I hope everybody can hear me now.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. So I was discussing that uh, what is the importance of this purport? The importance, the essence of this purport is that without the mercy of Lord, it is very difficult to get engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. And how to get that mercy? To get that mercy, we have to serve devotees. The easiest way to get the mercy of the Lord is to please a devotee. But there is one more. Srila Prabhupada is is discussing about the independence nature of the living entity in this purport, and he's saying that independence, the misuse of independence, is called Maya. And what is meant by misuse of independence? He's also explaining about that independence, which is used for material advancement to gratify our senses, is misuse of our independence, and that is Maya. And if that independence is used properly, what is meant by proper use of independence? Srila Prabhupada is also explaining about that, that the position of a living entity is that he is eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. And if we have a perfect knowledge, what is meant by perfect knowledge? Perfect knowledge is that we to know that we are the eternal servant of the Supreme Lord, and we can only be happy, blissful, and blissful if we worship Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is the proper use of independence. So we were discussing yesterday that what is free will. So the and yesterday we were discussing, and today this came. So surprisingly, it's correlating that what is free will. I was hearing Krishna Kumar Prabhu and Sham Kishore Prabhu's discussion that free will, of how to understand free will. When we say that Krishna knows whatever we are doing, Krishna knows when we are going back to Godhead, then where free will comes into picture? If he knows everything what we are doing, where free will comes into the picture? I heard from Yugal Kishore Prabhuji many times he was quoting this, that we actually the meaning of free will is to desire. He says that we cannot do anything without the sanction of Krishna. We can only desire from our heart that we want to serve Krishna, and that is only the free will. And most of the time, as here Prabhupada is saying that misuse of independence is Maya. Most of the time, our desire is to serve our senses, and most of the time, our desires are selfish. Even in devotional service, also, if we analyze, so I'm speaking about myself. When I analyze my thoughts, when I analyze my desires in devotional service, I always have reservations for service. For example, if somebody gives, uh, if somebody asks me to go and do pot washing, I might not able to, I might go, but not wholeheartedly. Only to I might go by forcing myself. And forced service is in mode of ignorance. No, is in mode of passion. Forced service is in mode of passion. And if and because I have independence to at least desire to serve, if I in this situation, because I'm not desiring to serve, I'm just forcing myself to go and do service. So here I'm speaking about myself. Even after doing service, I might not get nourishment. I might not get that uh, what to say. I might not get attraction to hear about Krishna. I might not get attraction to associate with devotees. I might not even feel good when somebody is glorifying other devotee. I might not feel good if somebody is chastising me, because of the mode of passion is increasing, because of the forced. service. Jai Shri Shri Radha Gopi Janavallabh Nitai Patit Pawan Gaurari Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. So I was contemplating on this point that Yugal Kishore Prabhuji has quoted this, I think, in his Srimad Bhagavatam class or somewhere that forced service is in mode of passion and it will not give us nourishment. It because devotional service is pure, any service do even if we do in mode of ignorance will give you some benefit, will give us some benefit. We might get some spiritual benefit, but if that same service if we do with full what to say devotion with full enthusiasm, then uh, we will, our progress is very quick. Like if we see, anyway we are doing that service, anyway we are putting that same amount of time, and if our consciousness is in mode of passion, if only that consciousness if we can convert into mode of goodness, that if that anyways we have to put that time, there is no other choice, we have to go and we have to do service. Instead of think if we think if we are I'm speaking about myself, if I'm intelligent enough, I will make myself, at least I'll tell myself, I'll tell my mind that anyways I have to do it. So why to become cranky and do that service? Become please try to love that service. Anyway, there is no other choice, you have to do it. If you don't do it, do this, then you have to take repeated birth, and again you have to come back in this hellish condition of life. Again you have to go and don't know whether your next life is human form or a cockroach, where you will go and be in some filthy place and don't know what will happen. So this is independence. That's what I was thinking for myself, that independence is there to desire. And if we desire to serve with our if we desire to serve, even though we don't have strength, we'll get strength because of from the inspection of the authorities. Even if we think that our task is very high, like for example, if somebody asks someone to go and raise $1 billion in a month, and he's a pauper and he don't have any contact, but if that inspection he got this inspection from authority, and he don't have any other choice to do that. Yugal Kishore Prabhuji says this, his own example, that he joined full time in New Vrindavan, and his desire was to do preaching, but he was on the day one he was told that we don't require preachers, we require fundraisers. And he did not have any other choice to become a fundraiser. So they gave him a target of some target, and what he started, because he got instruction from authority, he put feet and he started. Even though he was very new, he did not have any contact, he just started calling people, and somehow or other he collected. He says that he collected some hundreds of dollars, and he presented to his authorities, thinking that he failed in his task. But to his surprise, his authority was so pleased that seeing his efforts, saying that even without any context you collected this much amount. So they were so pleased, and because they were pleased, he got he said that he got mercy of Krishna. So in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is talking about two main things, about our independence and about our mercy, about the mercy. So if we use our independence properly to serve devotees, and if we use our independence with full consciousness to serve devotees, then we'll get the mercy. And after we get the mercy, we will get the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So everything, if you see in devotional service, is interrelated. Every dot is connected somewhere or other. We cannot take anything for granted. anything means anything for granted. Even if if we are speaking to some non-devotees who doesn't even know about Krishna consciousness, if we speak with them in such a way, in such a way that they become pleased to hear about Krishna from us, still will get the mercy of Krishna because they were pleased hearing about Krishna. And when we get mercy of Krishna, we'll get transcendental loving service of Krishna. We cannot think anyone, we cannot take anyone for granted. Anyone means anyone, not even a sinner or not even a criminal for granted. Everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. Only because of their ignorance, they are doing something wrong. So, so if if we take anyone as granted, then we are making our nature. We are creating one kind of nature. For example, if uh, uh, if if a person, whether he's a devotee or non-devotee, if he does something in one way outside devotional service, he will also do things in the same way in devotional when he comes and associate with devotees. For example, if there is a perfectionist, he likes to put everything. He likes to make his home very keep his home very clean, and like to decorate his home very nicely, and like whatever. So he wants to make his home perfect. And then if he comes and associate with devotees, and if he has given a service of decorating a temple, he will do that in same way as he's doing in his home. So that nature will be there. That nature is he's dovetailing his nature into devotional service. Similarly, if we get an habit of saying that, oh, he's non-devotee, he's he like we try to find fault in non-devotees, that they are going like they are doing these things and going to hell or whatever. If we are trying to find fault in non-devotees, that nature without our knowledge might come in devotee circle, and we will try to find faults in devotees also. So we cannot take anything for granted, whether we are working outside or whether we are with devotees, and that builds our independence. Our independent nature is uh, is how we make how our nature is built by associating with people. We all know that if you want to have a good if you want to become a devotee, you should associate with devotees. You should have good association. And if you want to become a CEO, you should associate with CEO. But there is an association also, because mm, now after this verse, by our free will, how will choose the correct path depends on what we think most of the time in a day. Like for example, if we analyze here with percentages, if we say like we are getting 60,000 thoughts, in that 60,000 thought, only 1,000 thoughts are about Krishna, and other 59,000 thoughts are about everything else. So when it comes to when it comes and this is happening for so many years, that only in a day we are thinking about Krishna 1,000 times, or sometimes we are not at all thinking. But and it we are doing this for years. Then once then our nature is in such a way that maximum of our thoughts are outside Krishna consciousness only. And when it comes to a free will, what we'll choose from our free will, whether we'll choose Krishna or we will choose Maya, depend from this calculation, for sure we'll come to know that most of will choose Maya if our most of our thoughts are outside Krishna consciousness. So our free will, when we say free will, misuse of free will, And proper use of free will is that how we are making our life, how we are living our life, and how our like achar vichar they say. So from day one, if uh, if a non-devotee comes in a devotee circle, day one his thoughts will be only like how to please his senses. First day he will come, he will chant. Why he will chant? Because he wants to. If students come, they say that they want to get good results in exam, and that's why they are chanting. After they get result, they might leave. But if they keep on associating, their nature keeps changing from the materialistic nature for chanting. They will their desire will change to do transcendental service to the Lord. They are chanting to purify their heart, and these thoughts came because they were associating with devotees and they were pleasing the devotees somehow or other, with or without their knowledge, and they got the mercy of Krishna. So then the for day one, if day one when that student came, he had a free will to choose his service for uh, for pleasure of Krishna or for pleasure of his senses. Day one, by the free will day one, when he had the free will, he chose for the pleasure of his senses. Then it he kept on associating, kept on chanting, and then now from day one, it is now 10th year. Now the same free will he is using to serve to serve Krishna instead of serve his pleasure. Maybe he might not he might still be conditioned. At least he is getting a thought that okay, I have to serve Krishna, but he's not able to. He's still serving Maya only. He's still serving senses. Then comes 15th year. So from 10th year to 15th year, because he was associating with the devotees, now again, by his free will, before he was just thinking, but still he was conditioned to choose Maya. But now he's thinking and is consciously choosing to serve Krishna, and is consciously avoiding to serve Maya. But even now he might not able to avoid because Maya is so strong. Here Krishna, here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying that Maya is very powerful. Nobody can surmount the strength of Maya, but only if someone surrenders unto me, he can overcome the stringent laws of material nature. So now now comes 20th year. He came to now, since he struggled a lot in his life, he struggled a lot in his devotional service. Now there is a choice. Now again, free will. If he's choose by his free will, he came to know that whatever he does outside is bad because he's associating and he's chanting. So now he's consciously choosing Krishna, consciously working on his thoughts to choose Krishna, and fully avoiding the thoughts of Maya. So this is how free will changes. Independence, we from improper use of independence, we start using proper use of independence only just by associating with devotees and following the process. Day one or 10th year or 15th year also, we might not use our independence properly. But when we are in the process, by the mercy of Krishna, one day will come that we will start using our free will properly, our independence properly, and will get the mercy of Krishna and mercy of devotees, and will able to go back to Godhead. So this is what I wanted to speak in today's class. I know that this was out of my realization. I just picked up here and there and I spoke. So please forgive me if I have spoken anything wrong, and please pray for me that I can able to apply whatever I'm hearing and whatever I'm reading. So if anybody have any question, You can ask now. Hare Krishna. Do you have anything to say, Praveen?
I don't have any question, but I'm really thankful for you being here and very nice. You have very nice attitude towards serving and sincerity. So I'm praying that I get some of them rubbed off of me.
No, sir. I am. I hope I can get qualities like you. Hare Krishna.
Believe me, you don't want that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Anybody have anything on Zoom? Otherwise, we'll end it now. Yes. Oh, please accept my overconsideration. If nobody have anything, then we will. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Is this Shyam Kishore Prabhu has a question for
My question is that according to a particular pattern of devotional service, one gets a particular kind of mentality. And service attitude is actually the real service attitude is given by Krishna. I mean that like the service attitude that enthusiastic that you to serve this given by Krishna. So in order to awaken this kind of service attitude, which is really the quality of between goodness and pure goodness. So in order to attract this kind of mercy, what should I do? What should I do? So, repeat the question. So Shyam Kishore Prabhu is asking that to get a proper service attitude, what should we do to so what should we do to get a proper service attitude? Yeah, that kind of service is like attractive enthusiasm, like they're very attractive. Enthusiastic. So, so like you mentioned, right, you get a service, doing it gradually or doing it rather than as opposed to doing it very easily. So the exact question of Shyam Kishore Prabhu is that how to get a service attitude in which we are always enthusiastic. So how to get that kind of an attitude, right, Prabhuji? So if you ask me, then if you association is anything you want to do, anything you want to learn, anything you want to get, association is very important. So we have to, for sure, there are so many devotees who are very enthusiastic in in service. We have to associate with those kind of devotees, and we have to first we have to follow all the instructions. Like for example, Yugal Kishore Prabhuji gave an example that there was for him instruction was attend Mangalarti every day. And one day what happened? He was not at all feeling enthusiastic to attend Mangalarti, and he almost skipped it. He said that I don't want to go. Like I'm not enthusiastic. But then since he remembered that, he went and he attended Mangalarti. But he did not. He was not getting any enthusiasm. He was just standing there. So, but what he did, he knew that he's not getting enthusiasm, so he started dancing in front of the Lord. just fakingly dancing. And he said that within minutes, I was enthusiastic. So here, what I understood is there are many things here. First of all, we have to avoid doing aparad to anyone. If we do aparad, will not get mercy of. Here in this purport only, Prabhupada is saying that I'll read the translation, the last sentence of the translation. Therefore, without the Lord's mercy, how can he again engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord? So to get enthusiastic service, we have to get mercy of the Lord. And how to get the mercy of the Lord? By following the instruction of the authorities, by following the instruction of spiritual master very properly. You cannot expect to be enthusiastic on day one. You, because of our conditioning from so many lifetimes, and even in this life, we have so much anarthas. And with those anarthas, when there is a layer of those anarthas, how will that love will come? Because of that layer, first we have to remove that layer of anarthas. When we are in anartha nivritti stage, we will get enthusiasm in bits and pieces. It will not stay for long. And how will get that bit in bits and pieces? When some sannyasi come who is very enthusiastic, when some devotee come who is very enthusiastic, they're dancing in kirtan with so much enthusiasm. If we are if we are in that sangha, automatically we'll get enthusiasm. For example, the students came. Yugal Kishore Prabhuji was doing kirtan. Krishna Kumar Prabhuji was doing kirtan. Their enthusiasm spread like a wave, and everybody started jumping. Not even one student was just standing. For sure, they don't know anything about this loving transcendental service enthusiasm and all. They don't know anything. But because that association of devotee who was enthusiastic, because of their enthusiasm, that wave flowed throughout this temple hall and everybody became enthusiasm. But after that association was gone, that enthusiasm was gone. So now when we are in another nivritti stage, I'm speaking about myself only, whatever I realized, that if we are in another nivritti stage, to come out to get enthusiasm constantly, we have to stay with devotees who are enthusiastic. In that way only we'll get the mercy. And slowly, we if we keep associating with them, we'll get the qualities of those devotees. For example, Prabhupada said many times uh, that you fake it until you make it. There was one statement of Prabhupada. Someone also asked Prabhupada, I cannot. I think same question. Maybe I don't know what was the exact question, but about habit or something. He cannot cultivate something. So Prabhupada said, you fake it until you make it. And how you can fake it until how you can first you should know what to fake, what to do. And to know that, you again association, you should see other senior devotees who are, or other devotee who is very enthusiastic. And then once we come out of our anathanivritti stage, and when we come at the stage of ruchi and asakti, then we are automatically getting enthusiasm by just hearing the name of Krishna. We see so many sannyasis. I have seen Radha Govind Swami Maharaj. He's for sure he have reached the stage of prema, but whenever he hears the word Krishna, he cries and he cries in so much separation. And if we associate that kind of devotees, we will also one day get mercy. So that is what I can speak, Prabhuji. You can speak more than actually you can enlighten me more, Prabhuji, on this topic. You want to say something, Prabhuji? You want to say? So if nobody have any questions on Zoom, we'll end here. पांचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवी नमो नमः अनंत
Praise
कोटि
Rohininandan Prabhu ki jai.
समवेता भक्तवृंद की जय हरे कृष्ण आई एम एंडिंग
Prabhuji, thank you so much. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
नाउ
Pranam.